this seems to be the approach. I think the plausible deniability put forth by Bruce and other people, Bruce Prichard and other people, is that, you guys need some character, and this ironic thing of, oh, you guys are actually clowns, or this ironic thing of you guys wearing these crazy outfits that they presented to you. That was their idea to create differentiation. But you felt and you feel that the wrestling and the wrestling characters should be enough. To be fair, they didn't present you as anything but these guys like old wrestling. Like,
they didn't present us as anything but that and guys who wore trunks and boots and lost. That's all they presented us as. I think if 2022 proved anything, it was people care about people, because all we were real people, and we got the opportunity to speak, and people couldn't. I don't mean this to be egotistical, so please, guys, don't take this as egotistical. But I feel in 2022, I proved my worth, obviously, as a wrestler. People have put over my wrestling matches I've had, but also as a speaker, and as a promo. Every time I got the opportunity to speak, I feel like I took advantage of that opportunity. We rarely got the opportunity to do that in WWE. So how can you grow from a character standpoint? How can you grow any more than what you're stuck at and what you're presented at? You talk about Bruce, and we've got our heat with Cassio Kid in that podcast. Let's go ahead and get our heat with Bruce and Conrad, I guess.
Yeah, Bruce hates me anyway. Go ahead.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, fuck it.
But, Bruce, again, another guy who's going to go along to get along, right? And I don't blame him for that because he's got to do a job, and
that's his job. And he's great at that job, right?
So before these little the clown outfits or whatever we want to call them were presented to us, the initial idea was Cash and I. We'll expound upon this, I'm sure, a little bit later, but the initial idea was Cash and I were going to be a different 80s wrestler or a different 80s tag team every week. Bruce told us this, right? He called us at his office and told us, and he tried to sell it on us as the greatest thing in the world. This week, you guys are going to, week one, you're going to come in as the Fantastics. We're going to give you these little, the little trunks where your ass cheeks are kind of hanging out. You're going to be wearing coattails and high top hats, and you're come strutting out, sequins everywhere. And then the next week, you're going to be the Bushwhackers. You're going to come out, you're going to lick each other's heads, and you're going to do the Bushwhacker walk and all this stuff. And then the next week you're going to come out in tassels and wearing old rock and roll headbands. You're going to be the Rock and Roll Express. And the following week you'll be Bobby and Dennis, and we're going to give you guys mullets, and it was like, you think this is money? You're going to waste again. This is when we had turned down the contracts, and they were like, okay, well, they're not going to do it. So you're going to waste television time to have us do this just to embarrass us. That's the part to me that's stupid. You know what I mean? Not giving us the characters of that's stupid. You're going to waste television time to embarrass us. Why? To make Vince laugh, and then Bruce is going to call us in his office, to try to sell us on it as it is this great this great visionariest idea. And I looked at Bruce, and we kind of had words, and I'm like, Bruce, you think this is good? You're trying to tell me this is good. He said, this is great for you guys. This is what you need. I said, but I'm going to be making fun of the people that I think have built this business, have built this legacy. And we're not only going to shit on us, me and Cash, but we're going to shit on them too, and tell the people, oh yeah, the Rock and Roll Express, they were nothing but jokes. They came out in sequins and just marched around and shook their asses. Oh, the Fantastics or the Fabulous ones, yeah, they just came out and did their little deal, and it was, it was all corny wrestling, 80s wrestling stuff. But these are my heroes, you know what I mean? And so I the very day that, or excuse me, the very next week that he told us that, we got our verbiage where they were, they gave us the verbiage where we said something like going down yonder to sit on the creek with our grandma and grandpa and shoot some muskrats or whatever they fucking think rednecks say. Right. And I had the mic where I was, practicing this verbiage, and I said, this is some real Martin Scorsese shit. I threw it down, and I got called to I got called to Hunter and Bruce's office. To be fair, Hunter did laugh at it. He thought it was funny. But again, Bruce was just trying to sell us on this idea. Sorry, I got off on that tangent about that.
It goes to like everything you've said. You're like, I'll go with it. Uzi hot, I'll go with it. Shaving the back, I'll go with it. Even maybe doing some redneck stereotype shit. I'll try it. I'll go with it. But what pisses you off is the intent, right?
Right. The intent, and also that they had never they'd never really devoted.
And the lack of faith.
They never devoted TV time to us to develop as characters, but now they were willing to devote television time to stuff like this. And on top of that, to try to embarrass guys that I consider to be heroes. That was kind of the thing that bothered me. And also someone, as you know, Bruce could have easily said, hey, look, I know this isn't the greatest creative in the world, but as professionals, just go out there and show them. You know what I mean? Show him you can make this work. But he didn't. He tried to sell it to us. And then, he said, Bruce, oh, God dang, we're going to stop talking about it after this because we can make this a whole show. Right. But Bruce said, everyone says you guys are, he said something like, everyone compares you guys to Arn and Tully being this great tag team. He said, but honestly, Arn and Tully never drew money. And I said, Bruce, you think so?
Yeah, he said no. Same stuff on the show. Yep.
Yeah, he said, no, they never drew any money. I said, so you're telling me 1985, 1986 Crockett, they didn't draw money. No, they didn't draw any money. With the Four Horsemen, Bruce. No, they didn't draw any money. And I'm like, oh, God, dude. Okay, whatever.